AP News officials, Saudi tells U.S. that Iran may attack the kingdom. Saudi Arabia has shared intelligence with American officials that suggests Iran could be preparing for an imminent attack on the kingdom. 3 U.S. officials said Tuesday the heightened concerns about a potential attack on Saudi Arabia come as the Biden administration is criticizing Tehran for its crackdown on widespread protests and condemning it for sending hundreds of drones as well as technical support to Russia for use in its war in Ukraine. The U.S. and Saudis blamed Iran in 2019 and being behind a major attack in eastern Saudi Arabia, which halved the oil-rich kingdom production and caused energy price to spike. So this leak of information from Saudis to U.S., does it seem like Saudis are concerned that this could backfire on them? What's the motive behind this, Tom? How do you process this?
I process it that, if you're a bully on the playground, sometimes you say, he hit me first. And I wonder if this is kind of a little false flag that the Saudis are putting up. And the Saudis, boy, if you want to look up the Q rating for the Saudis, it's like probably disliked.
It's going to be higher than Iran, though.
That's right.
For sure.
But you know what's interesting? They were only 99% hated by the news media. So I want to know the one guy that wouldn't vote on that. I think what's going on is the Saudis are playing this game. It's a chess game, and the Saudis are playing a game here, and I think they're trying to throw some shade on Iran and take advantage of the upheaval and stuff that's in Iran. And I think when people, you read your morning newspaper and you look at stuff, and you have to look at what does the chessboard look behind this? And this is just a statement. Nothing has happened. This is a statement.
Tyler, you got thoughts on this?
Go ahead. Tyler, I just sent you something, so I want you to pull that up as well.
The other day there was breaking that another girl was killed in Iran, and I think they might do something just to draw distraction away from the protests and the riots. I think they're trying to get people's eyes off the riots and the protests and let this cool down while they go in and forcibly injure a lot of people, and they send the military in and quell this. And I think they're trying to do something like draw distraction, and actually I think they will do a small attack in Saudi Arabia. But again, I think it's just a distraction to draw away from the protests and the riots.
Adam.
I sent you something. It's actually kind of gives you a more of a clearer picture on what's happening in the Middle East. It's not so much Iran and Saudi Arabia, Sunni Shiite. If you're not familiar with that, we can go down the whole rabbit hole there. But it's sort of like a meme, and it's 2 Arab guys kind of talking and trying to figure it out. And it basically goes like this. In the Middle East today, we have the Sunnis who hate the Shiites, right? And then you have the Turks who hate the Kurds, and the Saudis hate the Iranians, and the Palestinians who hate the Israelis, and the Yemenis who hate the Saudis, and the Iraqis who hate the Iranians, and the Libyans who hate the Egyptians. So the cause of tension in the Middle East is clear, and it could not be clearer. It's failure of American leadership.
Lunch.
Let's go to lunch. That's what it is. So it's like if you want to go down the rabbit hole of what's going on in the Middle East, it's like we just cleared it up.
Yeah,
it's all America's fault.
Print this and
it's
put
all
it in your
Israel's
pocket.
fault.
Yeah.
You lived in Iran, so I think you can appreciate this. It's like it's not all just Arabs are together and they hate U.S. and they hate Israel. There's Sunni and there's Shiites, and obviously the Turks and the Armenians have their issues, and Azerbaijan and Russia and this and the old Cold War and who came in, and the Egyptians. They have peace with Israel and the Jordanians. Like I think Netanyahu, who's all up in the news, running for re-election for like the 5th time in the last 4 years.
All up in it.
All up in it.
Yeah.
Not up in here.
Well, not up in here. First of all, this artist, everybody looks like Osama bin Laden. I don't know if you know every single person. But boy, and somebody asked me the other day, why are Middle Easterns? Why do you guys have so much? I'm like, you know how hot it is? Can you imagine going to the beach and never leaving? It's just hot. People are angry, dude. It's hot.
Well, I live in Miami. It's just as hot. Nobody's as angry.
There's no shade, bro. These guys are out in the middle of the freaking desert, bro. There's angry and hot.
How to understand Israel and Saudi Arabia? Dude. Secret relationship. Well,
they can afford the air conditioning.
Here's something that I think
they built an island that looks like a map of the world because they were bored.
We have all this money. Spend it.
What country is that?
Dubai.
Oh yeah, they're just doing their thing over
Dubai is
there.
having fun. They're like, we can make it rain here.
Go ahead.
What if you put a palm tree next to it? We'll build that next.
Exactly.
Just to kind of go on the Israel perspective about Bibi, he was on Bill Maher recently. He was on Fox recently. I like Bibi a lot. he said for years and years and years, he kind of threw John Kerry under the bus here under the Obama administration. He's like, for years and years and years and years, they're saying, if you want to have peace in the Middle East and peace with your Arab neighbors, you have to start with the Palestinians. You have to start there and you make peace there. And he's like, listen, they don't want peace. Okay. So he goes, listen, not going to make peace with the 1% and then move on to the 99%. He basically said, let me go make peace and deals with the 99% Arab world. And you look what they've done with all the arrangements and peace treaties, whether it's Egypt, Jordan, UAE, Oman, everything that they've done. He's like, let me make peace with the 99%. And then we'll go back to the 1%. I thought that was a very unique perspective because you constantly hear about Israel and Palestinians and figuring it out. It's like, where's that gotten anything? And he said, listen, let's move the ball forward with the rest of the Arab countries. Let's make friends. We have a lot of common interests. A lot of their common interests have to do with, versus Iran, everything against Iran, preventing Iran from a nuclear weapon, preventing terrorism in the Middle East. And part of that is this story right here, where this secret relationship between Israel and Saudi, because what's the famous thing we always talk about? The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Everyone can agree that Iran is pretty much everyone's enemy in the Middle East, other than certain parts of Syria and Hezbollah and Lebanon and that kind of stuff like that.
Afghanistan.
But, well, that's a whole other thing. But interesting perspective by Bibi.
Let's see what happens. There's a lot of tension right now. We'll see what happened here.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.